some specifications of the water jet machine, as we can see here, the material, we put some holes in it so that we can put it together and doesn't move. Then we also can put something heavy on the extra material, the part that we aren't going to cut, so that the material doesn't curve when we cut it. To cut more smoothly, the sand that comes out with the water jet has some abrasive so that it can cut more smoothly. Also, so that the water doesn't splash and hurt you, the water level has to be high. When the piece is completely cut, the water level goes down. Then we have to wash the piece with the hose, and then we use water to dry it. Also, the maximum thickness that can cut this water machine is 6 inches.
The water jet or water cutting machine is one of the best tools for cutting metals, polymers and all that. Here's an example of how are we supposed to use this machine. First, the plate that we want to cut, we put it in this area, which is called the zero, because it's X and Y zero. Then we need to place this machine to the zero or starting point we want to cut. For cutting, we need to build an design in any program that we know that we can use for designing, and we have to save it in PDX and then we later open it in ORD. Here on ORD, for instance, we have an example of a plane, and before cutting we need to make sure of some things, like for instance the type of material, if it's steel, aluminum or a polymer, and we place it here. Here we have aluminum 6061. Also, we need to place its thickness because we need to know how deep it's gonna cut this material. And also, we need to verify if we're using a polymer, we need to use low pressure or very brittle or a very brittle material, just to make sure it won't break with the impact of the water power.
Well, the jet water machine can cut through many materials, as we can see here. It can cut through many kinds of metals. It can cut through fibers, through wood, through pink foam. Practically the only material that it can cut, as we know, is the tempered glass.
The most important parts of the water jet machine are these. First, we have this container that contains the abrasive. Then we have the chiller that cools the water. This one is the pressure machine that makes pressure to the water that goes out. Then we have right there the osmosis machine. Here we have the bridge that moves our blaster, and we have the blaster right there that is the one that cuts.
Okay, so the Maxim machine has some disadvantages and some advantages compared to any other cutting machine, like the laser machine or the manual cutting machine. For example, the Maxim, some advantages that it has is that it doesn't contaminate the surroundings or the air, because it doesn't make any noise, and also it just uses natural resources like water, so that it doesn't contaminate any, and it recycles all the water, so that's another plus in the advantages. Some disadvantages could be that it's very expensive. They have to spend a lot of money in the abrasive, which is the little powder that it uses. And another disadvantage would be that it only uses the X and the Y axis, so so it only can cut in 2 axes, and I think that is the only two things that it is.
Now let's get more specific and let's get down to Mexico. Even though this machinery is really expensive, Mexico is trying to improve. And there are companies such as Tecma and Metal Mexico that are starting to improve and to arise the water jet cutting machinery. It is really important because you can use it in cold temperatures, you don't need to heat, so there is not a lot of inconvenience in the material. Also, with the water jet, you don't need, almost every time you don't need a second process, so you can get an actual discrete product. Another advantage, as my partners already say, is that you can program it. So as we can see here, we can make any type of material. Another great advantage, and should be really impacting in our lives, is that we can cut really thick and a lot of type of material. Even we can cut through the fiber resin materials. It is also really important that a water jet is friendly with the environment. That is also really important in Mexico.
Even though this machinery is not as affordable as most people can, it certainly is one of the best methods for cutting steels and plenty of materials, as it doesn't produce any environmental problems. The water can be reused, well, not the cutting water, but it can mostly reuse, and we can cut as many pieces with as many materials as we want.
I can conclude that the water jet cutting is one of the best machines because it cuts really fast and it's very exactly. Also, you can cut many materials and it have low cost because you only need water and abrasive.
I really like this practice because I got my own piece, so I could actually learn how to use the programming in the computer, and I could also learn that any type of projects that I have and that I get to use in Autodesk or in SolidWorks, I can get to cut it and actually create my own piece. And it is really impressive how the water has the power to cut through almost any type of material. So I really enjoy this practice, and I think that it is really useful in daily life for an engineer.
As a conclusion, I can say that the water jet machine is a sort of quick and cheap process. And the difference that it has with the other cutting processes or shredding processes is that with this one you can cut very much with a lot of precision.
So I really enjoyed this practice because it was something really different to what I usually do. As an industrial designer, I'm used to working with the laser cutting machine, and working with the water jet was something really different. I think this machine has many advantages that many other machines doesn't have, and I'm looking forward using this machine in the future. And I really enjoyed the practice, and I think it was very interesting, and I really liked it.